still a daughter. You're still a son. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is a good day to be alive. Yes, it's a day that we've never seen before and a day that we shall never see again. So, on our canvases that the Lord has given us called life, we need to be careful how we paint. We have to be careful how we paint today. And someone might say, but you can clean canvas. Not all canvases can be cleaned. This is the optimal you with yours truly, Renae, your life coach and host. And can I tell you that I always look forward to the YouTube segment? I feel like you can see me and I can see you, even though I really can't see you. So we have our, what should I call him now? Our staple. You understand? He's a part of us. He can't escape. Even on the days when he doesn't feel like showing his face, he has to show his face. And who am I speaking of? Mr. Marvin Douglas. Good morning, Mr. Douglas.
Good morning, Minister Renae. How you doing?
You. Hold on a minute. I'm not hearing you, Mr. Douglas.
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Hold on a minute. This time I don't think I'm guilty. I don't think I'm guilty this time.
Are you hearing me now?
Hearing Mr. Douglas.
Are you hearing me
All
now?
right. Go ahead again, Mr. Douglas.
Or tell me if you're hearing me now.
Mm-mm. And I'm innocent this time, people.
All
Go
right.
again, Mr. Douglas.
I'm not sure. Please tell me you're hearing
I'm
me
guilty. I'm guilty. Okay. I take it. I'm guilty.
now. All
All
right.
right. I had the stream down. So, Mr. Douglas, good morning to you. How are you doing, sir?
I am blessed. I am great. I am feeling awesome.
Nice.
Yes,
Nice. It's a good day now. The weather is
it
nice and
is.
just,
It is.
it's not hot. It's not too cool. Well, Jamaica can never be too cool, but it's not hot, where we're burning up. So we're giving God thanks. Mr. Douglas, for the benefit of those who don't know who you are, can you once more introduce yourself for the listeners and viewers, please?
Okay, so my name is Marvin Douglas. I am agency manager at Marathon Insurance Brokers. We're located at 46 Trinidad Terrace here in New Kingston, Jamaica. I, like most of you, I suspect, or if not all of you, online or on here, I am a child of God. I worship at the Liberty for Living Ministries International at Red Hills Road, Trade Center, Red Hills Road. And I am a proud father and the husband of one beautiful wife, Khalifa. Two
All right.
lovely kids.
Ah, Miss Khalifa, you know you're the boss, Miss Khalifa. You always get the title, the lovely Khalifa. Mr. Douglas, let me tell you something now. I am confessing before we even start
Yes.
that I am guilty of this that we're going to be talking about today. I'm very guilty. And I think this is something that I've overlooked, always overlooked, and just say, okay, any extra cash I get in this period, I pour it into that. So I think I'm guilty. So I'm just putting that out there before we even go off. What are we talking about? Saving for Christmas throughout the year. I am guilty. And this is my last year of being guilty by the grace of God because I'm learning, okay? Not too old to learn. So we're going to start our discussion, sir. And the question before us, number one, is how early should persons start saving for Christmas? And what are some effective ways to save?
All right. I think we broached it last week. We said
Mhm.
start early.
Right.
You should ideally start saving for Christmas right after the holiday season.
When you say holiday, I mean
Right
Europe
after the
Day?
Christmas season.
Oh.
Or you can say after New Year's.
Oh,
So you want to start saving from January. That is
mm,
an ideal situation, but you may have persons who didn't start at that time. It's better late than never. But ideally, you want to start early. And so you right after the holiday season, you get right into planning for the next. It's like if for persons who may do events,
All right.
annual events, they understand, especially that after this year's event is concluded, then
Mm-hmm.
they go into planning mode for next year
Next
because
year.
they're looking to see how they do better. So you want to start from January. In terms of um, did ask about how to do it, right?
Yeah,
Effective
some
ways to do
effective
it.
ways.
Right. So you want to do some, or you want to automate savings. I always tell people, don't worry yourself about having multiple bank accounts. Have a heap of them. Have a whole lot of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because you want to ensure that you have different things set up for different. So you have your main account. You probably get your account that you get your salary to, or whatever the case may be, and you
Mm-hmm.
can go online. Let it be a monthly event, or you can automate it. You have set up
Mm-hmm.
standing orders from the main account, where you get paid on the 25th, perhaps. So on the 25th or on the 26th, X amount will go to this account. So you may have an expense account that you use to run the house on a monthly basis. You have an account that you take care of payments like the car, the servicing and such. So you know that you are on insurance. So you spend from that every 3 months or every 6 months to do the servicing, and every year for the car insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So Christmas it may be no different, because this might be the biggest spending that you do for the season.
Right.
You want to have something set up there where you know that, all right, say, the budget last year was $60,000. I am we may have to stretch it to 90 this year or something. So every month, you set up a standing order where 5,000 or 7,500 goes into that account. So when it comes around to this time, you can be
Right.
you can be smiling like Minister Renae.
Remember that I didn't save, so I'm not smiling.
Well, you see my smile. My smile is almost permanent, So don't worry.
I
Don't,
see your
it's
smile.
not that I'm more prepared than anybody else. It's just
Well,
it's
something's
just
going
a good
on
day
for
that we
you.
have it.
But I'm not smiling. I sat down and I realized that I'm really not smiling because I did not plan. But let me put it out there again for the benefit of the listeners. It's not that we are saying that you must make Christmas about material things, but the truth of the matter is we do spend more at that time of the year. Like we spend more at summertime when the kids are home. We spend more during the Christmas period. Now, Mr. Douglas, you cannot touch on the matter of savings, opening a savings account and stuff like that. But the discipline, and you suggested that we do a standing order in order to so we don't touch the money, so it goes over. But what in a case where my money is not consistent and I don't
All
understand in order business? Because not
right.
everybody likes standing order thing. They don't trust the banks. How can I
So
develop a strategy where the money
so
goes?
so as I hinted just now, let it be a monthly event. And I
Mm-hmm.
call it an event because I would jump back to last week where we spoke about having the kids involved in things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So so you don't have a standing order set up, but you do have a situation where on a monthly basis, you guys have the family meeting.
Right.
So everybody looking forward to it. So it's like the planning meeting for the office, it's a planning meeting for the family. All right, guys. And as you said, because I may work on commission, it may not be as consistent. So this month may not be as big as last month, or this month may be a little bigger than last month. So we sit down and we plan. So when
Mm-hmm.
you're planning, you're effectively doing a budget at the same time. So you're saying, all right, guys, this is the budget. This is what we have to do. There may be a windfall, something happen, some bonus
Mm-hmm.
run, whatever the case may be, you'll land a big case, something, and you want to know, not spend all of that, but also put some savings. So you're making budgeting and planning a part of the family and the kids now get involved. Everybody gets involved, so everybody feels a part. Everybody feels a bit, gets a bit of the responsibility, and
Mm-hmm.
it becomes, as I said, the monthly meeting at home, as opposed to the well, similar to how you have a monthly meeting at the office.
Mm. Interesting. Because the whole matter of getting the children involved is so important because they have to help save, and they're the one that benefit the most, I think.
Yes, man.
Well, for those who have children, small
And,
children.
if I may, you said it just now, but I wanted to add, we're not advocating for commercializing of Christmas and for
Exactly.
anything like that. That's not what we're doing. But
Mm-mm.
as you said, it during that time of the year, we do spend more. That's the
We
reality.
do.
Because and one of the things is that coming out of Christmas, we are going into the new year, and there's some amount of freshness, some amount of newness that you bring to the place. As I say, a lot of it may be, cleaning up of the property, painting and stuff, and it's
Mhm.
more, and you can even call it fellowship if you want, because that is the time of the year that persons come together a lot, and so you have more people in the space, more fellowshipping and more like this
Right.
happening. So there is going to be a bit more spending. So we're not saying commercialize Christmas. But we
No, but
say
the
remember the
reality,
reason for the season. However, there's going to
yeah,
be additional spending.
but the reality is you do spend
Yes.
more,
Yes.
whether you have children or not. You spend more. Um, no, in the discipline to not dip in it. The discipline to not dip in it. Because listen, reality of life, things are difficult. Okay, things are hard, and sometimes something come up that you didn't plan for. How can one prevent themselves, withhold themselves, avoid dipping into the Christmas kitty?
All right. You remember we said earlier, Minister, that we are going to separate the accounts.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first way to avoid doing that. So you don't necessarily have access to that account, because that's not one of the accounts that you're going to have a card for, right?
Right.
So when it comes around to Christmas, then you can always transfer the monies back from that to your regular expense account, where you can use the card to do the shopping and do whatever it is. But
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have that account set up ideally, your credit union, or in another account that you don't have ready access to. So that's the first way. You avoid, don't have it as easily accessible as in don't have a card for that account, and keep it separate. That is the main reason for separating it. So you don't, if you have all of the monies in one account, you will just be spending and stuff. When it is separated, the money was transferred over there, you really don't have access to it. You're really not touching it. Right?
Yeah.
So that is the most practical way to not
To
go
not
into.
access it.
And we have to be disciplined people, not just with our monies. We are stewards of our gifts, our talents, the things that we
Self
have.
control.
So self-control is a must.
And it's a fruit of the spirit. It's a fruit of the spirit.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And we think that self control is about sex alone. It's not just about
Oh
sex,
no,
it's
no.
about life.
It
Self
is.
control in all things.
Yes.
A matter of fact, I tell you something. I'm just talking to you here, and there's an account that I usually I started about probably about a year ago, and no matter how small it is, I always try to put something. But I realize that I keep forgetting from the other day, and just as I was speaking to you there, I just set up a standing order. That so if I forget, that little chumps. And when I say little chumps, I do mean little chumps. Well, that little chumps is going there. I've learned over the years that every mickle make a muckle. Everything adds up. No matter how small it seems, it adds up. So this matter of self-control is very important. And as Christians, we have to remember that self-control applies to life, not just sex. And not
Yes.
it applies to food, it applies to finance, it applies to taking care of ourselves and our spiritual life too. Self control. So, if we are going to save, it's going to require the fruit of the spirit, self control. Hmm. Then Mr. Douglas. So let's say my salary
Mhm.
has been budgeted out
Yes.
and I did not include the Christmas savings. And so I say, okay, if I come into the extra funds, can I use my extra funds as my Christian saving? As my Christmas saving? Can I say my extra funds? So I know I usually do this or that, or like for example, say I have a preaching engagement. Normally preaching engagement money, I don't plan for it because it's not every day. I don't know when I'm gonna do it. So it comes in
And
as
you
a
don't know how much you're going to get either.
right. So you don't know. So can that like in that example for that with that example, I'm tongue twister. Can somebody do that and say all extra monies goes towards Christmas savings? So that will only be my Christmas savings?
All right, I'm glad you went there. So the short answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the long answer is allow those monies not just to be Christmas. Even though we're talking about the Christmas savings,
Mm-hmm.
you want to do multiple things with those monies just the same, regardless of how much it is.
Split it up
Split it up.
after you get out your
So,
tides.
so yeah, man. Well, the tithes are the part of the splitting. All right. So you
Mhm.
say everything that I get in this regard,
Right.
10% goes back to the house of God, 30% goes to my Christmas,
Mm-hmm. 20%
30,
goes to me to buy myself something nice.
yes, man, we get in there, man. 30% goes to, to my long-term savings,
Mm-hmm.
and and then you say 20% goes to the treat,
Yes. And the
right?
truth is not saving.
No, the treat is not savings.
Oh, let us please get that clear. The treat is not saving.
No,
The
man,
treat
the treat is
myself.
not saving, man. You have to, we can't, we can't. I said that I always hear them say you can't be too so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good. You are here to dominate and to take authority and to enjoy earth, enjoy here and now. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to, while you plan, so we budget and we do all of the other things, we
Yeah.
still have to enjoy here and now.
Buy yourself something nice.
Yes, man.
Mm-hmm. Now, how can people make use of like cashback? We don't get a lot of those in Jamaica, but we get some cashback reward points like Magna or loyalty program to offset holiday expenses. How can
So,
those things be
so the
used?
concept remains the concept remains the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of the same thing. You always just make a definitive plan as to how you treat with these things, because I always tell persons when you're going to get a credit card, we're going to teach you how to manage the credit card, but I also teach you that look here, when you get in the credit card, look for the things that come with the reward. Look for the things that come with the cashback. And when you get those, you make a definite plan for those. So those are not for you to spend on whatever it is. Those are used for specific purposes. And in this case, it can be used for your Christmas spending. So you say, all right, you know something, I'm getting a 1% or cashback, or I get 2% cashback. That is why I take this particular card. So I go and you get the card and you say, all right, you know something, because I want the cash back, I'm going to pay all the bills with the card.
Mm-hmm.
So I pay all the bills and then the
Yeah.
supermarket and whatever with the card, and then the salary
You
that
put
was
it back.
budgeted, you just put it back on it. So you're
Yeah.
managing the card, you're not incurring an expense, but because of the amount that you would have spent, you get the cash back. When you get the
Mm-hmm.
cash back at the end of the year, that now becomes a part of the spending. So the amount that you would have gotten there, you do the little math, and that amount now becomes savings. So that now
Hmm.
can become a part of the Christmas savings, or it can become a part of any other structured saving that you are doing. Maybe you will say, all right, anything that I get additional, it's going to go into the children's education fund.
Do you have any other suggestions as to how persons can earn extra have earn extra money?
Oh yes. We I've not met anybody who was not blessed with a gift or some kind of gift or talent. A lot of persons just don't know theirs just yet.
Mm.
But we I always say, hey, your skill sets that you have, something you may have gone to school to do a particular thing.
Mm.
That's not what you're doing now. You have persons who may be skilled in in designing and interior decorating and different things. You have some persons who they have just different skills. It's not a
Mm.
part of the substantive um, job, but they can monetize it per
Yeah.
se. Yes, they can offer it as a service to others. So it's about just finding balance and trying to find ways to monetize your skill set. You minister, you may be an awesome speaker. Yes, you may be someone who can do some things. You're not. It's not a part of what you do. But I realize, and I said, "Well, minister, have you ever thought about with this nice voice that you have, voicing commercials for different entities?"
Got to have a nice voice. Thanks.
Yes, man. Of course. Yes, and I
You don't
say
want to pay any money.
you can get into that, so so you can always say, all right, how long is it going to take me to put together a script? You script
Mm-hmm.
it, you do the script for the company if they don't already have one, and you record, clean up, you edit it, and voila, you make some monies from it.
True. I try to do lots of things, Mr. Douglas. I'm a try to do lots of things person.
Yes, man.
I love the idea of passive income because I don't want to be constantly working. So I
that
love the
that's that's
idea
a
of
topic by itself. We will spend all day on that.
yes, but we talk about it another time because we
Yes.
shall. But that is something that I prefer. I love because I can't manage sometimes. You're always right now. I'm always working. I'm always doing something because of, you know, trying to make the paper. So it is important that we look into different things and find means and ways to have extra income. And it's not greedy, as long as it doesn't
Yes.
cut into your time with the Lord, I'm just saying. As long as it doesn't cut into that, you balance your time. Just as though you balance your books, you balance your time. And make time for the Lord. No, there are means and ways to save too within the household and also on your own if you're not one that lives with people. How can individuals, and I could suggest one, but I want you to tell me them, how can we cut back on stuff to save for Christmas savings or to put towards Christmas savings? How can we cut back? What can we do differently as a household or as individuals?
All right. So so one of the things that I always say to persons, and for everybody here now, even though we're talking about Christmas and Christmas savings and a budget, the concept remains true and it can be utilized for other types of savings. So if it is that you're saving for something else for a different purpose, the same concept can be used.
Mm,
Now you look at the household and you look at the things that are variable, the things that you have control over. What are some of these things? Some of the things are utilities. Like some of us may have may be blessed and we work hard so we would have installed some AC units
yeah.
and stuff in the house.
It's
And
hot.
we would ideally prefer to be very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we want to run the AC, like AC just a run.
Mm.
Yes, it just a run.
Because the
So
place
you
hot.
say, all right, okay, listen, let us manage this. Last month we've been getting the bills at $50,000. Let us find a way to get the bills to 35 perhaps, and then have that extra $15,000
Mercy.
savings.
That's a household power bill, light bill.
Minister, if you talk to some of the listeners, they will tell you that sounds free
For your
because
house? No,
yeah,
I
man,
mean in
because
your
some
house. Is it 35,000 for like a house? A lot
Easily,
of people live
easily.
there. A lot of people live at that house.
No man. If you ask, you'll be surprised. Some persons paying some it's summer when it gets hot. Oh my.
Well, it depends on your household still. That's
And
the
it
truth.
depends
It
on the
depends on your
household.
household
So
because
so
even if
so
you
that
run
is
AC,
so
you
that
die.
is one thing. And I said
Mm-hmm.
to persons, you may look at investing in renewable energy. Solar power, there's a heavy upfront investment, but then over time it works. And for persons who may have gotten mortgages like from the NHT and such, they have access to funding that you can put in, um,
So
you
I've
know,
heard. Yeah.
solar panels and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and which I am telling you, it translates into savings, a whole lot of savings over time.
Because you can hook up your AC and that.
Exactly. So there are things like that that you can do. And as I said, I am big on making everything family oriented. I am big on making so I remember a few years ago, there was this thing on TV, local TV. JPS did it where there was like a competition between households to
Yes.
save, to cut back, and they talked about different conservation methods and stuff like that. Yeah. You can look into things like that. My neighbor though, my neighbor who's a trained electrician said to me one day, hear what? Don't, he says, for years I've been doing it. And when he told me, I said to my wife, let us try this. And it works like a charm. There are some appliances in your house that generate.
Plug them out.
So you see, if my wife is washing, there's no ironing going on, or the fridge is off at that time. So if you're going to wash, so think about it. If you're washing if you're washing for 3 hours, if your fridge is plugged out for that 3 hours, nothing now get no, everything stays
No
cool, everything
extra.
stays frozen.
Hmm.
But he says if you're using two of those, like, and if you're ironing, ensure that you're not washing or you have it plugged out at that time. And a lot of people tell you that they will wash at nights when it is cooler. It's
Yeah, but
less.
that requires a lot of discipline. That more than discipline. That requires a lot of calculation in the mind.
Look here, you see, when you start doing some of these things, it's like you're not even recognizing that, because it becomes a part of you over
Yeah.
time.
And plugging
And
things out.
and
Plugging
it
things
yeah
out.
man, and it really, listen, I have seen my electricity bill slashed by, just by doing that, slashed by 8,000, $9,000.
You're joking. Okay. Consider it done. Really?
Yes. Just try it for 1 month, and then come back and tell me if you notice any difference.
I need to remember. Firstly, remember that I need to do it. But that's so because the truth is we have to
Mhm.
even with how we eat, that is also one I think we can also look at that because food bill I think is the highest bill of all.
You spoke about discipline and self-control
Mm-hmm.
just now, and so you may have persons that tell you that eating healthy can be pretty expensive.
It is.
Um, it's a plan.
Yeah, because I eat healthy and I'm telling you that it is expensive.
Yeah, it is.
However,
It's a plan.
one of the things that I think one of the things that people tend to find challenging is people. Yes, you can have variety, but my belief is whatever is cheap, eat a lot of it, and there are different ways to cook it. Once it is cheap, right now, eat a lot of it and just cook it different ways. You can't. That's my concept. Because if it's like lettuce, I couldn't tell you when last. Right now, I buy a piece of lettuce. You get what I'm saying? I couldn't
Mm.
tell you the last time I bought lettuce because lettuce is really really expensive. So what? I have other vegetables. There are other vegetables around. So I think that's something that we also have to look at. You know, you don't have to have that particular thing. You can have something else.
And regardless of where you live, it's something that I always tell persons to do, and it can be pretty therapeutic.
Hmm.
Um, Create a little garden, and if you see you don't have any space, you create some little boxes.
Yes.
You just plant a few peppers,
Mhm.
sweet peppers to be. You will feel much better. You feel, and not only you're not even thinking about the savings, but just knowing that when you're cooking, you go pick your pepper and you go
Yes.
pick your tomato. It, and as I say, it can be a little therapeutic, and it can be fun. You recognize that you start planting stuff, and because things just coming in and stuff, you give your
Mhm.
neighbor to the left, your neighbor to the right, the person in
That's
front of
right.
you, you're sharing some stuff with them,
That's
and
how it
it's
works.
just it's just it's just a good way. So not I didn't really think about it as a means of saving, but it does help where
Do
that
you
is
know what to
concerned.
pump it up for pepper? And I have pepper tree. My husband picks the pepper and give it to me. They're in the fridge. You know what I mean? I gave some
Yes,
people at church some, and I'm going to give my neighbor some. Hello, pepper off my husband's pepper tree. Right
yeah,
now, I saw my neighbor next door with those old the bathtubs that's in your house. I
yes.
see him have it leaned up, and I'm saying, why does he have it there? I think I want to plant some scallion and some tomato for Christmas. So I said to him, can I have it? He said, yes. So it's right now I'm waiting for the topsoil to come from Manchester to put in it to plant my scallion and my tomato because it's expensive. It is expensive. So now we have two bad tubs. My pepper is in one, and now I'm going to plant the other thing in the other. And I have spinach.
Yes.
So no lettuce. I go pick my spinach that my husband planted at the back. Okay. These are the things we're talking about. There's a pumpkin vine running there. I see a few pops coming up. That means soon I'll be having pumpkin. All I'm saying is that sometimes we need to, as you rightly say, it's therapeutic. One thing I tell you that. But it also says, because listen, pepper is expensive. I hear that mostly six pepper or three peppers for 500 Jamaican dollars. That is a lot. So, yes, indeed, we can cut back with the power, we can cut back with the food, we can cut back with some other things such as like how we go out, how often we go out. You can just
if
make it once a month.
if you're if some yeah, some persons say they go to movies, you may you may go to movies twice for the month. You may look at going once for the month and making the other night, you know, a movie at home night, or as you say, it's just one would have to look at their budget, look at their spending patterns, and look at different ways at which they can curtail some of the variable costs that are in the spending.
All right. A listener says, our viewer slash listener, she says, sometimes the bill still comes big because the fridge takes lots of energy to build up. That's one thing I also
All
think.
right. So yeah. So you're not. So if the fridge is as I said, if the fridge is plugged out, I would be interested to know how long the
The build up.
that family member is saying that it would have been out for, because
Mm.
as I say, when the fridge when my fridge is plugged out and stuff, it's like even if I have to go in there, it's just because it's in a light in there why say it's
It's
not even
out.
plugged in, because everything stays the same. The temperature remains the same in there. So when I plug back in, it doesn't take.
Also, she says when she was back home in Jamaica, she now lives in the States. She says
Mhm.
she used to do it and she didn't save anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said it didn't
Um,
work for her.
I really can't say. Um,
But it
I
worked for you.
it has worked with me, and everybody who have asked to try it have come back and said that listen, it works. It has worked for them, as I said. I have seen my bill I said, literally by $8,000. And I said, no, man, let me try. I tested it to see if it worked, you know.
Yeah.
I said, in the following month, I don't do it. And it go back up. And then I go back to it, and it come down because I was saying, no, man, I really want to know if this is actually helping me.
Oh,
So I'm, I,
she said she even when they are washing or ironing, they would
mhm.
plug it out and stuff. And she said she didn't see a difference.
Do you see a difference?
Maybe it's a fridge type.
I don't know.
Well,
I really
I'm thinking
don't
of
know if
trying it.
it's I really don't know, but I would, as I said, I would encourage persons to
Mm,
try it, because one of the things with trying things like that is it's not putting you at a disadvantage. It's not hurting you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the worst you can do is try it, and to see if it works. So
Mm.
I don't know what would have been the cause for that not working, and I am not I am not giving electrical advice per se,
You
because
know,
I am
you
not.
try
That's not
something and
my
it works,
area.
you're suggesting it. You try
Yes, that's
something
not
and it
my
works,
area of expertise. But yeah. And for thanks for the feedback. You know, thanks to that listener for the feedback. I hope he or she's actually, enjoying some savings
Well,
in
she
their in
sounds
their
like one of
new
those
in their
persons
new
that save.
environment now.
She sounds like she's one of those persons that save. Mr. Douglas, thank you very much for chatting with us today. And we are looking forward to even more conversation. I know when it gets closer to the Christmas, we won't probably be having so much convo because people will be going on break and all
Mhm.
those things. But let me say thank you because honestly, I need to have a conversation with you too, But listen for a call from me. But honestly, these conversations that we've been having has really been helping me. I told my nephew to give you a call and I hope he did. But I really um I've been benefiting a lot from these conversations. I've learned quite a bit in the past 2 months. I've learned quite a bit. So let me openly say thank you ever so much for taking the time for sharing with us. And persons have come to me too from my church and other places to say, remember what the man was talking about the other day? That was so true. I'm gonna try this and I never think about that. So you're reaching you're reaching. To
Um,
God be the glory. You're reaching. And I want to encourage you to, to continue to do what you're doing because it is helping. And I always say, even one person you can impact, and that one person can impact thousands, you
awesome.
know? So we don't look at number per se, but we look at even one person being impacted. Thanks again. Next week we come back. I don't know if there's anything you want to leave with the listeners as we go for today.
I actually would like to leave with everybody today two words: discipline and self-control. They are not only good words, they are godly words. So just
Mm.
be mindful. It is going to be impacting and impactful on all aspects of our lives. Discipline, self-control.
Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful afternoon.
All right. You have a great one.
Bless you. Discipline and self control. And that is how we're going to save. That is how it's going to work. If we don't have those things going for us, we're not going to achieve. We're not going to get to a place of financial wellness if we don't save and if we don't maintain self control. So when you put the money down, you don't go back up and pick it up and say, oh, something came up and I'm going to have to use it. No, it is for a purpose. And as he suggested, if it means not to get a debit card for that, a debit or a credit, whatever card for that account, so let it be. Set up a standing order if you can. If you can't, in Jamaica, they would throw something that they call a partner plan, right? Get into a partner. You said, this money, I don't want this money until December or end of November or whatever the case may be. But we all need to ensure that we get to a place of financial stability. At the end of the year, come on, we want to even bless our brothers and sisters. We want to bless people. You want to be in a position that you can bless somebody and lift up somebody's hand, right? And how can we do that if our resources are meager? So we have to learn to begin to be more aware of our financial state as Christians, and don't just say, oh, the Lord will provide. He gives us wisdom, and we want to apply the wisdom. And the word of God says, if any man lack wisdom, let him ask of the Lord, because he giveth to all men liberally, plentiful. So if you need wisdom, the Lord will give you. That's it for me today. And that's it for me for the YouTube segment for the week. We'll come again, God's willing, on Monday as we look at spiritual wellness. Yes. And as we look into for the rest of the months or the rest of the weeks ahead, we'll be looking at the whole matter of Christmas. So everything that we talk about will be surrounding the Christmas. I don't want to say holiday, well, if I want a better word, let's call it that for now. The Christmas holiday or the Christmas celebrations. God bless you. I am your life coach, as usual, Renae, saying thank you for staying with me. And God's willing, I will see you next week. Now I head back over to studio. God bless. Bye bye.